reasons I watched Wild Force, which is a great season, by the way. I just thought it was going to be mediocre, so I thought I may skip it. But I was like, I want to see what happens to these Time Force Rangers. So I watched through Wild Force, which was a great season. And I got to Reinforcements from Time, which is the Time Force episode. And this is literally one of the best team ups ever. But let's march out of Wild Force and back in the Time Force. Sorry about that, guys. Time Force is an awesome season. With great characters in it. My favorite one either having to be Jen or Vancic. But the other characters are awesome too. Katie is that strong protector girl you'd want on your team. She's the one that would stand. She's the one that would. She is one of the ones that would stand up for you if you were weak. There's another character I'll talk about. There's another ranger on the crew that would protect you too. But she would be the strength of the group. She would be by your side. She would be by your side if you were weak. And she's the only ranger that asks herself how her actions in the past are going to affect her future. She asks herself if her family is going to be the same, if her life is going to be the same, if she keeps fighting, what's the future gonna hold for her? And that's a very deep, intriguing aspect of Time Force. That is a very good episode, and I like that episode. That episode is awesome. I also like Lucas. He is one of the more uninspired Rangers in this season. Undeveloped would be a better word. He's one of the more undeveloped Rangers. But we do know he's a race car driver. We do know he's tough. We do know he's a tough guy of the group. And that Focus episode with him and Nadira was pretty cool. Though it was played up for comedy, I did like that episode with Nadira and him. And the Cyclobots were great in that season. Loved those Cyclobots. And let's talk about Flax for a second. Oh my gosh. Flax in this season, he just breaks off out of Vancic's control. He had a very intriguing backstory with Vancic. Vancic was a mutant in this perfect world. He was made out of gunk in this perfect, wonderful world where no originality or anything like that exists. Nothing different. Everyone's perfect and the same. And Vancic's just this mutant that comes out of that world, and you really feel for him whenever he walks around the city, and you do feel for him throughout Time Force after that, because the only reason he just wants to wipe out humanity because humanity rejected him, and he wants his revenge on humanity. And the only guy that tries to help him is this doctor dude. I can't remember his name, but he's a doctor, and he tries to help Ransik, and he gives him this serum after he's bit by a monster. But then he just completely rejects him. He burns down his lab. That's what Ransik does. But by this point, you know he's gone insane. He's been rejected by humanity too many times, and he's like, no, you're human, you're going to reject me too. I'm burning down this lab and killing you. So yeah, that was a strange string of events that happened there. So anyway, after the fact, Ransik came to the future, and so did Frax. He somehow got into Ransik's little villain faction, so he was able to go to the future with Ransik, and they were able to, and he, I think about mid-Time Force, he broke apart from Ransik. He was like, alright, I'm done with you crap. And then finally, at the very end of Time Force, in the finale, it's explained that Frax used to be human. He wants to be human, but Ransik just ruined him, and that's just dark. That's why Nadira became good. Even Nadira, the daughter of the villain for this season, she's been a villainess all season. She feels for Frax. She wants him to succeed in his plan. But she doesn't want her dad to get hurt either, because she knows what happened to her father too, because he was just completely rejected by humanity. So yeah, you hear a lot of themes about humanity and how cruel and unjust it can be. And in our world today, that is just... Time Force now means so much more than it did back then. So much more. Because in this world with iPhones and iPads and all this stuff, we're getting closer and closer to that world of perfectness, and there will be no more genetic diseases like cancer or something like that. We'll have the cure for everything. And when we see something different, we will resent it and find it as a criminal to humanity, or the so-called humanity that we're going to become. We're going to be like robots, technically. We are going to be more robotic than Frax. Speaking of Frax, he was the only one that felt for Ransik. He knew how he felt, and somehow, in this world of perfectness, maybe he's older, so it didn't happen to him yet, so he was able to feel for Ransik, and he was able to take him in. And another example of this, hey, you're different, you're a criminal, is in episode, I think it's 24. It's called Trip Takes a Stand. You have heard so much about this episode. Every time you hear about Time Force, you hear about this episode. It's the episode where Trip protects the monster, and he stands up for the monster against Eric, who's another great aspect of this season. That I really just won't have time to talk about. So he stands up against this he stands up for this monster, and he is able to protect him. And even when even the Rangers are telling him, Trip, he's a criminal. It's okay. Even not the Rangers, but the freaking Quantum Ranger. Not the other ones, but the Quantum Ranger. One of his fellow Rangers is telling him to stand down because he believes that this is a monster, and really, he's in the wrong. He believes he's in the right, but he's in the wrong. It's very easy to become like Eric. It's more easy than we think to resent people who are different and who can. It's much more easy to push away people who are different than to bring them in, is what I'm saying. And that is what Time Force's theme is. It's not time travel. It's being able to accept individuality and accept differences. And it deals with some very dark themes, and I really like this season. Great job, Time Force. So yeah, that's going to be my top 10 for tonight. I spent almost an hour talking about this. I love Power Rangers. I want to talk about more seasons with you guys. I'd love to make another video about Time Force and how awesome that season is. There's some other awesome seasons like Jungle Fury that I want to make some videos about. So, yeah, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my top 10 favorite Power Rangers seasons, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.